Gretchen Ross for Destination Indiana. I am here in New Harmony. Joining me now is Daniel Mason, the Assistant Director of Historic New Harmony, and we are at the Lenz House. Tell us about the garden aspect. This is very interesting how things are planted here.
Absolutely. So the Lenz House is one of our original Harmonist houses, and it's actually owned by the Colonial Dames of Indiana, in wonderful partnership with them. But they had, this year they contracted with a local landscape architect. Actually, his name is Kent Schutte, and a retired landscape architect from Purdue. And he pulled these incredible volunteers together and planted what the Harmonists actually would have planted here. And it was what's so fascinating about it, and you can tell it's actually been harvested quite a bit already, and the food actually went back to the residents in New Harmony. And we had a good time with that. But it's all based on timing, so it's not just a matter of planting the radishes or the beans or what have you. Actually, the Harmonists would plant something that would pair with something else, while another vegetable or something for medicinal purposes was coming up. So everything was beautifully timed for how they would use it, consume it. But one of the learnings that Kent and his volunteers got from this year was that they actually started some of the plants from starts. And the Harmonists wouldn't have used starts. They would have started from seeds. So next year, everything is going to come from seeds, so that's properly timed.
They knew what they were doing,
I love
they?
that, yeah. They absolutely knew what they were doing, but very proud of this.
And what are some of the things grown here?
Well, so you can see these amazing radishes. We've had cucumbers. We've had obviously the squash are still blooming and coming up. Probably the most interesting have been the carrots. We've had the purple carrots, and forgive me for not knowing the right term for them,
okay.
but apparently they're 10 times the nutritional value. So not only did they know what they were doing at timing, they knew the superfoods too.
Sure.
So you had food that you consumed, and then food that you used for medicine, and then things you used just for beauty and for the home.
Great. Looks great. They were, as we said, they were ahead of their time here and really smart in developing this.
We're very proud of it. So guests, when they come to New Harmony, are more than welcome to come to the gate, check it out. We'll ask that you kind of leave the plants alone.
Right.
But no, come enjoy it and study. Like I said, Kent Schutte and his team have done an amazing job of researching it and making it happen.
Great. We're going to take a look inside the house as well, coming up.
So I'm Claire Eagle, the Community Engagement Manager at Historic New Harmony, and we are inside the David Lenz House. As Dan said earlier, this house is owned by the Colonial Dames of Indiana, but Historic New Harmony operates it. So this is our museum space. So this is where we have Harmonist artifacts. The first one I'd like to point out is that bench right below the window. So that is a Harmonist bench. Now, if you notice, the seat part is a little bit wider than you would expect on a bench, and that was a Harmonist trait for their furniture. Additionally, you see all of the pottery on the table. Now, those pieces are replica, but if you look behind you in this case right over here, these are pieces that were actually found in the backyard. So this site that we're on was the site of the pottery kiln for the Harmonists. And we had a USI professor do an archaeological dig quite a few years ago, and he found all of these pieces in the backyard, so that's why they are here. So this is where, this would have been their great room, so this is kind of their living space. So they would have had their meals here, and this is where they would have been as a family, and then upstairs were the bedrooms. So you see a lot of the things you would have expected to see in a house of this period. But what you probably don't expect to see is the whitewashed walls. So the Harmonists were very industrious. They built all of their own things. They only imported two things, and that was windows and their stoves. So everything else you see in here would have been done by the Harmonists.